Good morning, paranormal community, and thank you for taking in this latest episode of the Odyssey Files. I'm your host, Michael O'Neill. With me this morning is the great Sena Dykesman. Good morning, Sena.
Morning. Morning, Michael. How are you?
Just tone it down. Tone it
Okay.
down a little bit.
Sorry, I'm all excited.
Yeah, aren't we all? Apparently, so is my phone, which I completely forgot to turn
Oh,
off all the volume. What you guys just heard was my Rodney Dangerfield notification,
hmm
which was notified me of absolutely nothing important.
Oh, sorry. My neighbor. I have neighbors that can't figure shit out. Sorry for your crap out. Sorry. Ooh, this one.
No, you can say shit.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're good. But yeah, I have noticed now twice that your neighbors really like to interrupt our show.
Yeah, they make themselves known. I guess they want to be on the show too. I'll have to go talk to them about it.
That would be amazing, actually. Tonight we are interviewing Cena's neighbors who continually make noise during the show.
They're actually awesome. Yeah, they're a Mexican couple. So very nice.
Nice.
hmm
All right. So we need to hop right into it because we have a lot to do. Not only do I have announcements to make, we have Mailbag, bunch of great stories in there. And then we have I think it's a very important topic
Yes.
tonight because I've been noticing a lot lately. I mean, yes, it's over social media, but it isn't like misinformation type stuff. Like there's nothing political about anything that we're talking about.
hmm
So first off, I just wanted Dave's not with us this week because he had a very close person of his pass away. So he is dealing with that. I don't know if he will be back next week or not yet, as he's still obviously dealing with the loss. So if anybody would like to spread their good wishes to Dave, obviously, you comment on this video. You can send in an email, do it from the website. Whatever you want to do. So he actually, this announcement I'm about to make, he has no idea about it whatsoever right now. I asked him yesterday. I was like, I got if you're up to it, I got to tell you something about the show, and he never even responded. So,
Well, yeah, it was huge what happened to him. So,
except I'm not saying like, oh, it's Dave's fault. No, of course
no.
not.
I didn't say he's not going to respond because he's got a lot going on.
Right, exactly. And so I'm just reiterating the fact that this is a very new development.
hmm
And he doesn't know about it yet. But like me, he doesn't listen to the show either. So
Nice.
we make the show. What does he need to listen to it for? So yeah. So if you, because I know there's a bunch of people that he knows personally, that he talks to a lot, that do listen to the show, not live, but I mean they'll be afterwards. If you could just not say anything to him until I get my hands on him, that would be awesome. So here's what it is. Here's what it is. So since the beginning of this show, almost 8 years ago now, the show has been in somebody else's hands, and
The network. Yes.
well, yes, but it's been multiple networks.
Yes.
So we started out on Para X, and then we just felt like they were kind of hindering us a little bit in what we could and could not do. And so we're like, okay, we're going to branch out. And then the After Hours Network took us on. My friend at the time, Joel, was the runner of that. And we were really, I'm so happy. We were really starting to get like a lot of good momentum
Mhm.
going, getting a lot of downloads. Finally, after a year or two or whatever, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got jealous that our show, that Dave Mize's show, was getting more downloads than his, or what. But even as being a friend, and again, not like an acquaintance we see twice a year,
Mm-hmm.
a really good friend. We're talking on the phone, we're hanging out. I'm driving all the way up north to go ATVing with, sends me an email, and like in the most, I guess, dickish but like professional manner possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've decided I'm cutting your show from the network.
Wow.
And I'm just like, huh? Call and tell me that? I'm like, where's this like Dear Mr. O'Neill coming from? Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not know? Like, what is going on here?
And what was the time span that you were on that network?
Oh gosh, at least probably 2 years,
Okay. Yeah, so it was a good
something like
amount of
that.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we weren't new. We
Mm-hmm.
weren't new to that network whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But so we had gotten booted off that
Mm-hmm.
for a reason I still cannot even fathom. I think his excuse was he was trying to make space. I'm like,
Wow.
you have your show and my show. I'm like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what space do you need?
Right.
Um,
Wow.
so, but at that time, we had also joined the web network, which is where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
And again, started getting like some pretty good momentum. Not as good as what we were on with After Hours, but After Hours had more following. Like there was
Mm-hmm.
more people associated with it. And then at the beginning of last year, or maybe in the beginning of this year, I think it was the beginning of this year, they decided out of the blue to cut their Spreaker, cancel their Spreaker account, move everything onto their website,
Mm-hmm.
and then completely messed all that up. And so they pretty much put the carriage before the horse. Like they just canceled Spreaker and was like, everything will be good. We'll just run it off this website. Well, then they couldn't get their website to work properly.
Jeez.
So they just did things horribly. So we weren't putting, even though we were making live shows every
Mm-hmm.
week, like we were, none of those episodes were going out for
Oh.
like 8 weeks.
Okay.
None of the episodes were going out until finally I was like, screw this. I'll pay for Spreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll put the account on my card instead of theirs, and then our shows can go out while they figure out whatever they're doing. But by that time, we had lost everything, like
Yep.
all of our subscription, because 8 weeks, obviously, they're not making the show anymore.
Right.
So we had to start over again
Jeez.
for like the third time, trying to build, the show back up, let people know we were still on. After a couple months or whatever, the web network came back. I think they just decided that the web. I haven't heard a word about the website like since.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if it's still up or what they're doing with it. But they took back over the Spreaker account. All right, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't had an issue. Well, then I saw a post, and this is again something that we could talk about during our main topic, because I know you brought it up last night as kind of being attributed to it. But I saw a post from one of the people from the web network that the Stan, who pretty much runs it, started it, whatnot, is very, very sick. And I don't know how bad it is. It was just a Facebook post, but it was one of those like, keep him in your prayers. And usually people don't do that for the flu.
Right.
So, I mean, I honestly, I have zero hard feelings towards Stan or anybody at the web network. I definitely hope he recovers quickly and is back to full health soon. But like the day after that, for whatever reason, because I'm an admin on the site, any of the Spreaker emails that go out go to me. They don't even go to them; they go to me.
Oh wow.
And so, any month that or whatever month they pay their bill, I get that receipt. Well, I got an email from Spreaker saying, You just canceled your account. Are you sure you wanted to do that? And I'm like, what? So no word from them whatsoever again. And
Mhm.
still not. This was like last week, earlier this week. Still no word from anybody about anything. And they canceled their Spreaker account. And
Jeez.
I'm
So wait,
like,
is there anybody else that works with him?
I think his wife, but
Oh,
obviously she's more
well, yeah,
focused on
definitely. But I
him.
was just curious.
But
Okay, but
yeah, so I mean, it's pretty much just them.
hmm
So, uh, and honestly, it's not hard to do. I
hmm
mean, one of the main reasons that I'm an admin is I was like, why do I need to send the show to you so you can upload it? Why don't you just bring me an admin and then I can do it
right.
for you? And from what I've understood from like the Times and whatnot, they've got like a dozen shows on their network.
Oh wow. Okay.
We're the only one that has actually posted in the last year.
Whoa. Okay.
There are some that haven't done a show in 2 years. Um,
Hmm.
so again, not a hard thing to do, but when you need money to go elsewhere, I completely understand that this is something that you would cut.
hmm
So instead of uh, taking back over the web network and once again going back under somebody else's, I don't want to say somebody else's rule because that just puts way a bigger connotation to it than it needs to be.
Just working under somebody else.
Right. But we keep getting this momentum and then we keep having it severed.
Yep.
And I'm tired of it. Like beyond frustrated and tired of it. And so I created our own network. It was something that we were going to do anyways at
hmm
some point in time.
We talked about it.
Yes, because we just Dave and I just want to be that source
Yep.
of being able to put out quality shows, not just ours, but like other people's shows as well.
Yep.
So I started the Odyssey Network.
Yay.
Um, yes, on Spreaker. I don't know how far it's gone out yet, but
Okay.
here's what is happening on that though. I've already started. There's 32 up now, but I've started to go back into the archives and I have started uploading shows from episode 1.
Okay.
So what's out there now is episode like 174, I think. Brandy Green and Dustin Perry was like the very first episode that we ever did with the web network. So I'm now uploading all of our original shows. And my God, were we bad at what we did. I,
Okay.
I mean, I don't mean to say like we didn't know what we were talking about or anything like that, but I just mean like the background audio and putting stuff together and the production quality.
hmm
Holy God, were we bad at the first couple of episodes?
But that's where you learn
Uh,
from. You said it's always a starting place. So
yes, I'm just trying for those of you who want to go back and actually listen because there's some amazing episodes. There's some amazing interviews with people who haven't been on since. We really need to get them back, but because my reputation is garbage right now, nobody will that used to come on will come on again.
we'll
Um,
work on that. No, we're
I
working on
know, definitely working on it.
it. Yep.
We're hoping to have people back here, hopefully sometime this year. And there are
hmm
several people who will, obviously still come on.
Yep.
And in fact, I just talked to Barry Fitzgerald yesterday about
Nice.
he's going to be coming on in April. So we have a whole bunch of those shows to look forward to. But anyway, if you want to go back and listen to them from the beginning, after the show, I'm going to be spending all day uploading more.
hmm
The only problem is that I can't seem to find like 150 episodes.
Oh my gosh.
I think I know where they are, and they're not accessible.
Okay. Well, there's
So I've
reasons.
had to
I
say
can
what?
tell you, there's everything happens for a reason. So there's reasons. So let's let it go.
Right. No, that wasn't a complaint. I'm just saying that's
Okay.
why it's going so slow,
Okay.
because I've literally had to go to OdysseyParanormalSociety.com, where all
Mhm.
those were originally posted, and re-download them.
Okay.
And I was a moron thinking that I would never have to deal with these again.
Mhm.
And so most of them just say like stream and then the date and then some googly gup numbers.
Mhm.
And come to find out they're not there. They weren't in order.
Oh,
So I've literally had to listen to every single episode to find out exactly which episode it is.
okay.
So that's
Question
why
for you real quick. Don't you also upload them to YouTube?
not that time.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Crap. I think it was probably like episode 275 before we got to YouTube.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, so hopefully I will have over 100 of the
Mhm.
original episodes, which you will not find on a podcast whatsoever, or a podcast platform until now. But you can go and you can search for the Odyssey Files radio show, and
Mhm.
that will be the new one. It has you see it in the top right hand corner of the screen if you're watching the video, our kind of biohazard Odyssey Files. That's the logo.
Oh,
Like I
exciting.
said, there's 32 episodes on there right now. All of them are from Pair X days, so you're going to hear you're going to hear all of our commercials
Mhm.
and uh, entrances, and I've so been missing these. I think we need to put them in. Is our promos, which we haven't done in a very very long time since we
Yeah.
stopped doing an intermission. Um, but I think we need to bring those back. It's
Well,
always
okay, so there's reasons, that stuff, all this happened for one, for you to get your own network, but two is because you need to go back and look at that and see what was kind of missing on your show that you could add in. That's just things
what was
happen for a reason.
what was missing was the ability to produce the show.
Well,
But
yes, but it led to other things, right?
well, of course, oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, some absolutely phenomenal episodes. You could listen to the original Paranormal Feud show where the board went flying and everybody laughed at me. Uh, but yeah, so head out there, search for the Odyssey Network. Should be able to find us now, I hope. But
Will it be on
hopefully,
Facebook?
uh, probably not.
Okay.
I mean, it's just gonna right now. It's only our show, so I have
Mhm.
an Odyssey Network page and an Odyssey Files page.
Mhm.
Uh, at some point in time, if more shows want to join on, then yes, I will
Mhm.
create an Odyssey Network page where all of our shows will have access to it. If you've ever wanted to have like a paranormal show for anybody that's listening, and think you want to give it a try, send me an email. We'll see what we can do. Obviously, we'll help in any way that we can to get everything off the ground.
Mhm.
Uh, Pretty soon, if Sena can get out of her human, uh,
Yeah.
her own specific show
Mhm.
uh, will,
What you're gonna help me with?
which I'm going to help you with. So like I said,
Thank
we'll
you.
help.
Yay!
Yep,
So excited.
we'll absolutely help
Mhm.
you in whatever way we can. But yeah, so that's our big announcement, which Dave doesn't know about yet.
Yay, congratulations.
But
Yay!
but
Finally.
yes, and I think that's what he's going to do too, because him and I have been talking about it for like a year
Yes, we
since
talked
the
to me
whole
about it.
debacle.
Yep.
Yeah, since that whole debacle at the
Mhm.
beginning of last year, it happened. We're like, we should just do this by ourselves,
Yes.
and that's just the next logical step.
Yep.
So hopefully in the next couple days there will be like 300 and something episodes under the Odyssey Files and not just 100 and
Mhm.
whatever it is. But here's the thing that I want to tell people about: podcasting platforms do not like multiples of the same show. So chances are, once I reach the Brandon Green and Dustin Perry episode, I will probably be deleting our show off of the web network,
Okay.
and then obviously moving them to our new one. So your subscription to our show off the web network will be completely useless pretty much after this show. I implore you, I beg you, I ask you, I demand of you, however you want to take it, to go over there now and subscribe. And yeah, so you won't miss any more episodes ever, because now it's under our rule, and shit will be done properly.
Yeah. Hey, so excited for you. Congratulations.
Right.
New beginnings.
So now that
talked about this last year. New beginnings. This was pushing you. So now you finally made that step.
Yeah. Every year is a new beginning.
Oh, last year was huge. But yes.
Well, I didn't do it last year. I did it this year.
I know, because you wouldn't let go.
Oh Lord, neither will you. So you know what? No more, no more getting on my case for being in my human when you can't do it yourself, or you can't leave it yourself, or whatever.
My Virgo in the way that wants perfection.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm a Capricorn, but I'm definitely a perfectionist. All right. So, like I said, we've got great stories, which now that I've talked for like 20 minutes straight, we'll get to. The Odyssey Files is proud to present the Mailbag. Yes, indeed. The Mailbag. All right. So here we go. Story number 1. Excuse me. I don't feel safe in my house anymore. For a while now, I've been seeing things around my house. It started off small, with doors being nudged open without windows open or the AC on. The first big thing was seeing the shadowy figure in my parents' room. It wasn't doing much, just peeking around the corner watching me. I wasn't sure if it was real or not, but my cat reacted to it as well. Recently, it has started to progress further by being what sounds like running up the stairs while everyone is asleep. I'd questioned my mom about where my cat was the nights it happens. Majority of the time, he is with her. Other times, he's downstairs. The confusing part is that he's old. He doesn't run like that anymore. Other experiences that really seemed to further show that there was energy was that above my sink, there is a window. There is a view to the fence along my house, but we have junk back there. One night, my dad picks me up from work and I'm eating a late dinner. I hear what sounds like something trying to open the window, so the seal creaks a little. I heard it, turned, and I saw a faceless creature or thing that was supposedly looking at me duck away and hide. I run upstairs to get my dad, and we both run outside looking for whatever it was. The most confusing part is that it would have had to have made noise to escape. This thing vanished. No trace, no sound. He's a man of logic and reasoned that the reason that he came up with was it being a reflection. It would have to be the weirdest reflection to be not moving, as I turned my head only to duck away a second after seeing it. From then on, I would see a figure in the bathroom downstairs. It would just stand there in the corner of my eye, but vanish when I look at it. I was skeptical, wondering if it was a trick of the light, but as of last night, I looked over expecting to see the figure, but instead I see an arm poking out the doorway. I froze as it, again, like the face, retreat a second later. My cat was downstairs staring at the doorway, as confused as I was. I sat down, sitting next to him, kind of redundant, staring at the doorway, waiting for something to happen, but nothing did until I went upstairs. I had some clothes out, getting ready to put them away, when I heard what sounded like the whimper of a little girl. Wondering if it was me, I tried replicating the sound, but it wasn't happening. I've been beyond confused, wondering if it's my imagination or not, especially considering the fact that my cat has reacted to these experiences as well. I don't know what's going on or why anymore. So now normally I'd be like, nothing's really happening. Don't worry about it, yada, yada, yada. I honestly don't think that that's the case right now. And here's why. And I don't know if Cena's going to agree with me or not, but that's fine. when we're dealing with negative entities and like demonic entities, they always seem to have a playbook, which I think is the dumbest thing that they could possibly do. Like all of their stories always seem to start the same, these little things here and there to kind of get your attention. And then they start ramming up with little things that might steer you towards a different, steer you down a path of belief or mentality that you have. And you can't figure it out no matter what. And then after a time, they start to show a figure, shadow figure out of the corner. There's got to be something here. Mm-hmm. And then they start to bring in the entity they want you to believe they are. This is right along with, I don't want to say it's right along with Annabelle, but it is in distant concept. And that is all of a sudden, oh, well, now there's a little girl. So now you're going to be, oh, well, there's a little girl here. Well, that's okay. Come on in. What's wrong with you? You start to trust the fact that you're not in any more danger until you make the mistake of inviting it in and inviting it to do, whatever, to talk to you, to use your energy, whatever. I would get somebody on this immediately, whether it's psychic medium like Sena, whether it's a reputable paranormal team. Somebody needs to come in and actually figure out what is going on. I don't think you're dealing with a little girl. I think whatever's there, I'm not even going to say it's demonic or not. I'm just using that as the fact that that's just like their playbook that they do to try to gain your trust, or that they're, relax you a little bit. But I think this needs to be taken care of immediately. I honestly, I don't want to go down the road of whatever creature you saw was an alien. That was like the only thing that really did make sense about this, was this faceless creature coming in through your window. Sena might have more more to say about that. I'm sure she does.
Yes.
I think right now, regardless of whatever is going on, you need to get somebody in there pronto. Whatever route you take, it's like medium, paranormal team, doesn't matter. Just get it looked at, figure out what is going on, and get rid of it.
Okay, so if it was a negative entity, you have your senses for one, and the hair is going to rise on back of the, you're going to, they always say that your hair rises on the back of your neck if you feel any negativity. Your body's going to tell you this person is sensitive for one thing, but the cat's going to verify any kind of paranormal activity. It's paranormal. It's not, again, yes, you pretty much ruled out that it was going to be an alien. This person's abilities are starting to open up more, where they're be able to sense it. Once the ghost or spirit found out that they could see them, then they're talking to them and coming in more. But it's more mediumship. When people are getting more and more open to their mediumship, they're going to see more. And that's what's going on. They're being open more and more because the other side is seeing that, oh, you can see us. But they're also, other abilities are opening up where they can see actually what's going on in their home. This has been going on the whole time, but it's just now their abilities are opening up more where they can see, they can hear more, and the cat's verifying it. It's very connected to the cat as well, because the cat is, they're looking at the reaction to the cat, seeing that the cat is seeing what they're seeing. This is all paranormal. And so it is definitely this, the abilities are when people's abilities start to wake up and they start using them more, whether they know it or not, this happens. And it starts showing up more. And they're thinking, well, this just happened now. No, you're opening up more. And that's what's happening.
You don't think she should get help at all?
No, just tell because it's not trying to hurt them. It's not trying to scare them. It's just showing up. It's literally just peeking and interesting. It's not interfering as far as trying to scare them, because it's peeking. It's not showing up like, or scratching them or anything. Talk to them. Talk to it, but just tell, it's like, if they don't want it there, again, people don't realize in a human meat suit, you are stronger than they are. And you tell them, you are not allowed here. you have the strength and the ability to tell them where they can and can't go in your home, because this is your home. You're telling them, no, sorry, you're not allowed. This is my home. I see you, but you're not allowed. And I'm not welcoming you in. I'm talking to you, but I'm not welcoming you in. I want you to leave. And you tell them that's what you do in any situation at all. It's like, no, you're not allowed here. I see you, but you're not allowed here. I do not want you in my home. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to bring anybody in. You have the ability to do that. And Lily, and it's being not forceful, but just very strong towards them, not fearful. You just go, no, and just like stand your ground. This is your home. They're not allowed in there.
Wow, that's 2 different takes. All right, people. There you go. Decide who's right.
Yeah, if it was, I mean, it sounded in the beginning, like you said, it did sound like an alien opening the window, but no, spirits do the same thing. I've been on several paranormal, especially old farm homes. That's happened. They'll start from the outside and open windows and creak in, and yeah, that's just goes the spirits all around the property. They're just making their presence known to that person.
Fine.
Yeah. All right. Ready for story number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okie dokie. Nightmare. Possible premonition dream. Just woke up from a very lucid dream. I was shopping at Target with my daughter, and we ran into my fiance and his friends. I bought flowers, white and yellow daisies, and a clear package with a green lining, a calendar with puppies on it, and then left the store and realized I was driving on a one-lane road behind my fiance and his friends. They were in a red Jeep, and it was sunny outside, but the roads were wet. The Jeep suddenly swerved left and right and then flipped multiple times. I pulled over and told my daughter, 8 years old, to stay in the car and to stay buckled, and then ran to the Jeep calling 911. I could see through the window that his friend had been driving and he was awake, but there was so much blood. I couldn't see anyone else in the car because of all the wreckage and the blood on the windows. I was panicking and running, and then thankfully I woke up. It's been an hour. The details and the feelings are still very vivid. The whole dream feels like a memory. Has someone else had something like this happen? What does it mean? A lot of times, yeah, premonitions definitely can be premonitions of what's going to happen, especially if it's very vivid. Again, when people don't realize what abilities they have, they can, that's a psychic ability. Premonitions are seeing the future, what's going to happen. And it could, yeah, definitely be warning them to tell, the friend or whatever, slow down, especially if all of a sudden they're in a store and this all starts to happen again. And, in real time, in human time, if they're in a store, with their daughter and, buying flowers, if it all of a sudden like deja vu, yeah, it was a warning, and to tell the friends, slow down, be careful. I'm also going to get into another one, though. This could be where she's seeing another dimension of another life of hers as well. Or does this happen? Yeah, sorry, but we have multiple dimensions that we, that different kind, if we think it can come about. It's just like Doctor Strange. You have multiple dreams, and this is actually, it does take place. Those are
different dimensions. I wasn't like laughing or chuckling silently because I thought that look. Yeah, but no, that look was because I was waiting for that.
Okay.
Because especially when she said it was a memory, I'm like, well, obviously it's not a memory. But talking to you as much as I have, like that would just go directly into where this has happened, but in another dimension. And so I was kind of like, I was waiting for it, and I'm like, there it is.
yeah, because we live past, present, and future at the same time, and so it actually has happened. And that's what people don't, but they're, in the dream, in this present time, it's waiting to happen again. But again, you live past, present, and future, so it's already happened. So she's already seen this before. And then we have different dimensions that we live in as well.
But here's the thing that, I guess in the grand scheme of talking about the question, this wouldn't have come up. But you and I have had a conversation about dreams that colors matter
Yes.
and pay attention to the colors. And I was struck by the fact that as she's writing about this dream, she made sure to tell us the colors, like the colors of the flowers, and the fact that they had this green ribbon and not just like they were tied up or anything. Like very descriptive about the colors that she was seeing. And
Not just the colors, but the specific item. Daisies are huge. It's a huge meaning, actually.
why don't you expound upon that, Sena? You can't just
I
put
knew you were going to ask. No. I knew you were going to ask. So I did look it up. It's for new beginnings, but also things are okay and you're going to be fine. I'm gonna click on real quick on something. So it's spirituality, purity, innocence, new beginnings, and childhood, due to their bright white petals and cheerful appearance, often symbolizes the rebirth of life after winter and connecting to the concept of divine beauty and the innocence of a new life. They are also linked to the idea of motherhood, fertility, and some cultures. So it's huge meaning with daisies, especially. I've had them actually. Something had happened to me. An ex had taken his life, and on my 40th birthday, he came to me with daisies. And so it is, it's a huge spiritual meaning with daisies.
Well, then I think the meaning of this dream is quite clear. Is that her relationship with her fiance is dead and she needs to move on.
No. It's rebirth, childhood. It's just
exactly. It's renewal.
Yeah, but it's just be careful. Just be careful and pay attention. Really pay attention to the dream. See if there's obviously there's something more. We only get to hear what they write. You don't know what else is going on in their life. So we only get to tap into this part of it. So you don't know what else has been going on in her life. And so maybe she's scared that he's going to die. And, because of things that have been going on in her life. So you don't know what else is behind this. And so,
I agree.
But she's, because a lot of times, so I'm going to tell you, a lot of times when people are asking questions through their life, they're getting answers all the time, but they're humans in the wait. So a lot of it will come into their dreams and will answer a lot of questions they've been asking throughout the day or week. And so this is how it actually gets interpreted through a dream. Like this is they're answering her. Like they need to be careful. They're too reckless. This is what could happen.
Okay, I understand. I just I given my opinion on what this was based. Why do you think she got a calendar of puppies?
She likes puppies. They're gentle.
Oh, that's it.
Well, because remember, her daughter is 8 years old and shopping with her, so it's probably for the daughter. But puppies, not dog. Puppies are very gentle, new beginnings. Innocent. Exactly what daisies are. Daisy, exactly what Daisy says. It's innocence. New beginnings.
So she got a whole lot of visualization or metaphorical new beginnings. Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah. I personally don't think that it's a premonition dream. I think it's either a dream based on her own anxieties or her spirit guides or something are trying to tell her something.
So there's answers. Like I said, a lot of those are answers from stuff.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so spirit guides are answering. Whatever it is, or as you said, she was experiencing something that happened in another reality, in another dimension, another universe.
Yeah.
As somebody who has had this happen multiple times,
yes,
quite forced upon me, I might add. They are exceptionally real, exceptionally vivid. Like you are there. It's not even a dream. Like I wonder what's going on, or I can't make out this or that, or their face is no. You're there. You're experiencing it. You're feeling it.
Yes.
And like I said, I've had that happen to me a couple times now. But I don't. Like I said, I want it to be the future.
Mm-hmm.
My future, but I know that in other dimensions, stuff like that, that stuff has actually happened to other me's, which irritates me more than I can possibly convey.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But it could be
but
fears.
what?
It could be fears as well, depending on what's going on. Like I said, you don't know what this. We're only hearing this part of the story, but you don't know if it's fear based on her part as well. That she's fearful, and that's coming through in a dream.
Right, exactly. I just don't think that this is a premonition.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's meant to be some sort of medical. It's either another memory from another you, which unfortunately had to endure,
Mm-hmm.
or it's just a metaphorical. Metaphorical. I keep wanting to say medical, and I'm like, no, not what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so I think that's it. All right, moving on. Story number 3. Got attacked by an entity yesterday. I live in an older house in which the people who built it died in. Never had anything crazy happen except doors closing, knocks, things like that, up until yesterday. It was around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and I was walking down the stairs, and I usually stop and look back up when I get to the bottom, but I didn't. And I'd have thought that it may be bad luck or something, but ignored it. As I reached the bottom, I heard incredibly loud footsteps running down the stairs and through the hallway at me. I ran towards the door, and as I get to opening it, I was pushed back by an unseen force very aggressively, knocking me to the ground, causing my chest to hurt ever since. Considering nothing like this has ever occurred, I'm rather concerned. I'm very careful about what I bring back into my home, but it also seems unlikely that the spirit of the owners would do that. And if they did, why now? And what caused the sudden aggression? Update on the past few days. First off, um, I'm Native American and very spiritually aware, so I can handle myself. Excuse me. Second, nothing too serious has occurred over the last few days. However, there is an increasingly dark presence that seems to follow me around, but more stalking than following. I've realized I'm dealing with something dark, but it's a coward. So he won't face me head on, but rather play stupid mind games. So I did some sacred things, and it has been removed from my home, and the spirits of the owners are alone again. This is just weird. Because I have, as I'm reading this, I have like a what's going on in my head, and nothing. Even though I know you said it was aggressive and it pushed you, it doesn't mean that was the intent behind it. I mean, typically, if somebody's running really loud down the stairs and down the hallway, it's get out of my way. I need to move. I need to go. What part of which one of us hasn't done that before? Like you're in a very big hurry for whatever reason. Somebody's in your way, and you need to push them to the side because you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that they're evil. It doesn't mean that there's anything bad happening. It doesn't mean that they are attacking you. It just means that you were in their way and they needed you to move. And I've often been the proponent that spirits don't often know what their energy is going to do or how to control how much they use.
Mm-hmm.
Dave and I have talked several times over the years about, people who are getting scratched like on their shoulders or something like that. Who's to say that was what the intent was? Maybe they just wanted to tap you on the shoulder and use too much energy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how that works. You might, Sena, but I don't. As an investigator, I mean, it's something that we need to look into, and see if we can find some rational explanation for it. But that is going to take equipment that has not been invented yet, and experimenting that has not even been thought up.
It's got equipment. Hate to tell you that, but yeah, and also
Say what?
they have equipment that can see that can feel it. Everything is energy, frequency, vibration. It's frequency meters, and that's how they can detect a lot of that.
Well, yeah, they can detect the energy, but they can't detect the intent. What I mean by we need to look into that to figure out what that's where is it's the correlation between energy and intent.
Okay.
Can spirits accidentally scratch people if they only mean to touch them on the back or get their attention? Is that a lack of control, a lack of like experience and knowledge from the spirit in order to interact with our plane?
Okay. And yes, that's if you ever seen the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze, yes, he had to learn how to control and how to be able to touch. Yes, your answer your question.
Yeah.
Yes, they have to learn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, who's to say, like when he's lifting the penny out, up the door or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of floating there, maybe he uses too much and it goes through Demi Moore's skull.
Right, because it's the emotion behind it. So if he's in a panic or something, they don't realize it and they just, yes.
That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
so that's
Mm-hmm.
what I was saying when with the whole research thing. We
Mm-hmm.
have to learn the correlation between the two.
Yep.
Anyways, getting off topic here. So where was I? Oh, right. But then you're like, now everything is dark and you're Native American, you did some rituals and now it's good. Like, I guess I don't understand why. Like, I'm almost thinking that you created this dark presence yourself. Like, you got unnerved by whatever the running down the stairs was, and now like you psyched yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, well, now there's something attacking me and it's aggressive, and oh, the guy must have this dark presence around me. I don't think that was actually what was going on. But if you feel better and you think that the old homeowners are still there and they're happy and they're coexisting with you, I got nothing more to say, because that's the most important thing. As long as you feel like you are safe in your home, that there's no longer some dark entity, and you allow the former homeowners to continue living there, as I'm sure they want to be, all the power to you. Have at it.
Have at it. Okay. The mind is a powerful thing. It can create.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And him,
I mean,
he even said it in there. When he walks down the stairs, he usually looks back up, and then he goes, and he didn't do it this time, so he automatically thought, and I don't know, but that could be, is that bad luck? And so yes, you create that, allowing that in, because everything we verbalize and think are frequencies that we put out to the universe, and we create. It doesn't matter what it is, we create. It's whatever we focus our energy on, we create. Whether it's a fear, whether it's good, bad, we create whatever's in front of us. It's the only way it exists. And so yes, created it, thinking that's going to, it was a bad luck to not look back up the stairs, and all of a sudden this happened. It hadn't happened in years, and all of a sudden this happens. Yes, because the one time, then he's a very good manifester. He created that immediately, and it happened. Or he just allowed it in, thinking that then it allowed it in. There's two different ways of looking at it, because once you believe in it, it happens as well. Because if you don't believe, things can't happen. It's again opening the door and allowing things in. So he just started believing. It's like, oh, I create bad luck now. Boom, it's going to happen because you're believing it. You're allowing it in. And then when he did the ritual, he believed that it was going to get rid of the negative entity, and it got rid of it. It's a belief system. It's all that's it. Yeah, that's how it happens.
It is, as long as we've had several stories where it's like, I did this and now I feel better and everything is gone, and they're like, well, yeah, that's because you did something that made you feel calmer, and therefore it's not affecting you anymore.
Correct.
So, and honestly, there's I wonder how much of the paranormal is placebo effect. where
Well, because people want it so sometimes some people want it so bad that they create it. Yes. If it's yeah, a lot of it, but that's why you have people come in, investigators come in and see, well, what is it? And that's how you find out. Is there actual paranormal activity that's legit?
Mhm.
Or you can tear it apart and go, nope, this is why. See, look at this and this. No, and but everything's energy, the frequency, energy, vibration. That's everything is, whether it's from the imagination or creating it, we create it.
I got nothing more to say about that. But I'm with you.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I'm terrible at manifesting, but that's okay.
No, you're good at manifesting. You just focus on the wrong things.
No.
And you start with the emotion. We talked about this before. You have to start in the right emotion. You have to be in the right frame of mind when you're creating in order for the outcome that you want to happen.
Gotcha. Moving on.
Moving on. Story 4. I've got a paranormal question. I have come to the conclusion that I have one or more spirits in my house. The one that I have had several interactions with seems to be protective and positive spirit that has tried to confront me on several occasions. However,
Comfort.
oh, I'm sorry. It has tried to comfort me on several occasions. However, I had a question about something regarding the activity. Every time I am talking about the spirits or referencing them out loud in conversation, they will do something to let me know they are present, such as are there is there a presence, a knock, footsteps, or touch? Is this normal for spirits? I don't know too much about them, but it is common for them to present themselves if they are talking about them with someone. Any answers you guys could have would be greatly appreciated. Yes, answer the questions. Yes, of course. If you're talking to them, they're going to respond. This is how, when they do paranormal investigations, you're talking to them, and sometimes you end up getting it through your equipment that you're going to get a response, because not everybody can, they're not going to react as that. But yes, if you've got it already interacting with them and then you're asking questions, they're going to react and say, yes, I'm here, knock, whatever you would like them to do. And all of the questions, they're going to do it because you already have been interacting with them. So they're going to respond.
You make it sound like that's like a guaranteed thing. And I can tell you as an investigator, it's not a guaranteed thing.
No, but he's already saying he's already been interacting with them.
Well, he's pretty much just saying that anytime he talks about them, not to them, but about them to like other people, like they do something to show that they're there. And he's asking if that is normal.
To let me know that they are there. He just says, every time I'm talking about the spirits or referencing them out loud in conversation, they will do something to let me know they are present, such as being
a presence,
being a presence, a knock, footsteps, or touch.
Yeah. So I don't think he's investigating them like I would.
No. I'm not saying he is, but he's already been interacting with them previously.
Probably.
So he has a relationship with them, so of course they're going to respond to him.
Right. But he's not asking them to do anything. No. It's like me having a conversation about my dad, and we're sharing a story or something like that, and all of a sudden, like, my glasses lift up and drop or something like that. I didn't ask for that, but he did it because we were talking about him. And I think that's the question he's asking: is that normal?
Oh, and just because he's sort of established a relationship with them, and he talks, but they also like to be known. He has such a relationship with them. It's more like, I'm here, you're talking about me, but I'm right here. And so they do it. They like their presence known. And is that normal? No, but he's just developed a good relationship with them. And so they will respond to him and talk like they're in a conversation with him. They don't like, I'm not a third person here. I'm in with the conversation. So they're just making their presence known as you're talking about them. Yeah. But other people know because they don't have a relationship with their spirits or, earthbound ghosts.
And I think for this specific case, I think it's also one of those they're trying to back them up.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how many people talk about the spirits in their house and everybody's just like, whatever. It's
Mhm.
this or it's that, and they try to debunk it or they think it's weird. Well, I mean, how good is it to be like, yeah, I have spirits in my house or whatever, and all of a sudden, like the refrigerator door opens and shuts.
Mhm.
It's them confirming that he's telling the truth. They are there.
Yes.
Is that normal? No.
Mhm.
Is it awesome? Yes.
Yes.
We I have not encountered that like nearly never. But there is a place where my team and I are going in a scene as well.
Mhm.
Uh,
I'm part of the team now.
that's right. Well, I mean, I invited you even before you joined
Yeah.
the team.
Yes.
Um, but in almost a month, uh, we are going to the Wabasha Street Caves in St. Paul, Minnesota,
Mhm.
where I have we have residual spirits or residual haunts. We have intelligent haunts. Like I've called these guys genius haunts because they have such a knowledge and control where they can do whatever they want.
Mhm.
They can manipulate anything they want, anytime they want. And I was there at the time. I was talking with the owner during my original tour, standing in like the lobby, which then opens up into like this eating kind of area, and it's got like the circular LCD lights
Mhm.
along the ceiling, and we're talking about them. And she's telling me this case about, or this time when a picture of theirs was stolen off the wall.
Okay.
And somebody asked, this was like a couple months later or something, like somebody asked to have it back or wanted it back. And then lo and behold, like either later that day or the next day, they found it in a homeless guy's like stuff who was hanging out outside the property.
Okay.
And so she was telling me this story, and all of a sudden, one of the LCDs started to go off and on.
Mhm.
Just one, they're all on the same circuit. Well, just one of them started to go off and on, off and on. And I pointed, I'm like, "Does that ever happen?"
Mhm.
And she goes, "That has literally never happened before." And I'm
Mhm.
like, "Yeah," but that's things that they will do when they are perfectly comfortable where they are. They
Mhm.
know they're not going to be removed if they reveal themselves. Uh, and they have that type of relationship, as you said, they will do whatever.
Yes.
I made the mistake, apparently, according to Scott, of trying to give them rules.
Oh, they like to be told what to do.
Well, it's not even for them; it's for us. It was my safety rules. Like, hey, you can't come home with us, and you can't touch or harm us. It's
Mhm.
just those, and that was it. It's just to keep us safe. But
Mhm.
apparently, according to Scott, they were aggravated by me because it's like, of course we're not going to follow you home, you dumbass. And of course
We
we
have everything
know that.
with you. We're staying here. We like this. We're hanging out
Yeah,
here.
well, yeah, and it was like, of course we're not going to harm you, you dick.
Mhm.
So when we go back, I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna apologize, and I'm just gonna be like, I know you know how to be human beings.
Mhm. Yes.
let's
Yes.
let's just have a good time.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm thinking that the one coming up here on the 10th for our 10th anniversary, I think it should be very fun.
Cool.
Um, very much looking forward to that, and of
Mhm.
course, uh, be able to use the new trailer. So
Yes.
excited.
Very cool.
Um,
Got the
yes.
compressor all fixed and
No, they're not. It's just little stuff, and right now it's almost more technology than it is. Like the trailer itself is done. Like
Mhm.
now it's just kind of tweaking this, and
Mhm.
I got to figure out how to get this to work properly with it and stuff like that. So, um, but yeah, it's good to go. Um, so yeah, and like I said, I know I promised this many times. I'm hoping maybe next week
Mhm.
I will actually have like a good 3-4 minute video to play here on the show, which you'll have to obviously look at the video version of it to do it, but a tour of it for people to
Well, you did
see
do
what.
the live, so people that did, so
I did, but the live was such a crap fest because of the generator.
Yeah, it was very loud.
Yeah, and I mean, now that's we're finishing that up, and he's made it so um, I can actually run everything, and he's making it so I can run the blue lights as well off
Sweet.
just being plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be doing that. So I'll be able to do
Cool.
this new video with better camera than a cell phone, better audio, and there won't be the generator sound.
Awesome. I like my white chair.
Well, it's now sitting back downstairs. So
Oh no, that's my white chair.
well, too bad. That was because we had everybody there, and I doubt
Mhm.
that will really happen again, except for probably the
Oh,
March
that was
10th.
cool that I had my white chair though.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't even know what it was. Oh, who gets the white chair? What's the white chair doing here? And all of a sudden, I was like, "Where's my white chair?" You're so
Well, you said
vain,
that Cena
Cena.
has no, you. That's how you present it, and Cena has the
I
white chair,
did
of course.
because you're the light worker, Sue. All the
Okay,
chairs
so
are
I
black,
wasn't being no, just saying
except for
that's how you
Cena's white chair.
introduced it. So
Anyways, all right. So that was my answer regarding that. Did you have anything to add to that?
no.
No. Okay. All right. So, wow, look at that. I got my big announcement and all the stories for the week, and we're still right on time.
Yeah, I see that.
By the way, in the original 80, 173 episodes, I don't think I laughed like that ever. So
Wow.
feel safe. Feel safe.
Very cool.
So, all right. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know exactly how to describe or like start to move into what we were talking about. So
Mhm.
I had an idea for a show because I have a lot of unanswered questions, shock upon shock, I know. But you have told me many, many times, and you've mentioned it many, many times about the whole, good versus evil fight and war that is going on. I've read books that do mention and talk about it. And it's not that I didn't believe it. I believed it. It's just, it wasn't prominent. Like it wasn't showing it wasn't rearing its ugly head, around me. So I focused on other things. But I've noticed, and this is what brought the thing, and almost right along with what you wanted to talk about. So I'll just put this in context, and then I'll let you take over for your part of it. But I've noticed a lot recently in the last month and a half. I have a lot of paranormal people on my friends page.
Yeah.
I don't even know like 80% of them, but they're we have mutual friends, or we're friends of like celebrities and stuff, and so we're just one big community. But I don't know any of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I still see their posts, obviously, and person A knows C, D, F, and G, personally, so they start. Anyway, long story short, I started to notice a lot of deaths and a lot of sickness when it comes to people in the paranormal. I mean, now we even have. I was talking about Stan from the web network, and now I don't know what's wrong with him, but I mean, now it's to the point where it's like prayers are needed. But I keep seeing almost every day, and I'm not on Facebook that often, maybe once or twice a day for a minute or two. I check my Facebook dating to make sure nobody's interested in me still. But so, but I keep seeing like we lost another one today, and they'll take the person, you'll be missed, and I'm gonna miss you, brother, that kind of stuff. And if it's not that, it's pictures of this person that's in the paranormal that got diagnosed with a brain tumor, and like, or stuff like that, and had to go into surgery. And I've never seen it this much or this often, and it's always seems to be paranormal people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got a lot of people that have nothing to do with the paranormal, and like they are never sick, or if they are, it's the cold or the flu, or maybe they got COVID or something like that and are home for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it just seems with the paranormal people, it's so much more extreme, uh, and so that got my attention.
Okay.
Every time I see it, I'm just like, is this the evil part of this war getting winning? Are they the reason behind this as opposed to just general nature? And so with that said, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. The reason you're seeing more paranormal is because you're friends with more paranormal, but it's also everything's energy, frequency, vibration. They're intensifying the frequencies. And so the music and stuff that they're listening to is affecting the frequencies in their human body. That's causing problems. And this is, okay, we had the war that we're having on both sides. We're having on the human side and we have it on the spiritual side. So what Michael's talking about is we're fighting on the other side as far as good against evil. You know, God against devil. And so we're the warriors. But down here on the human level, the devil sends his minions in to get us off of our spiritual path because he knows we're more vulnerable at a human level versus a spiritual level. So if he can attack us here and get us off our path or distract us on the human level, then we can't help on the other side on the battlefield because we're distracted. And that's how he's trying to take us out. So that's what Michael, if anybody's wanting to know, that's what they're talking about. We are fighting a battle, but we're also fighting one on a human level as far as they're trying government, it's the frequencies they're trying to mess up our body. Our body vibrates at a certain frequency, and so they're trying to get the equipment you use, your phones, even all of your paranormal investigation equipment is affecting the body, and that's why a lot of them are coming down with sicknesses now, because it's actually affecting the human body with the frequencies of the equipment they're using. And so you're seeing that more often. So please be careful of the equipment that they're using. They really need to get back if they're going to be around a lot of the frequency equipment that's coming off with the vibrations that's going to cause havoc to the human body itself. They need to go and clear themselves afterwards. And this is what's happening. That's what you're hearing a lot about. Well, careful with if you're doing headsets or telephones, wireless headsets, anything like that is affecting the human body because it's throwing your frequency off, and that's what's causing a lot of the brain and the human death or illnesses because they're out of whack. And so this is why this is going on, and people don't realize it. But this is the other warfare because now they've hit COVID. They've hit the water, they've hit the air, they've hit the land. And so that's why they are now affecting the frequencies in anything that you listen to. It's going to affect that, and that we were warned. You get warned about certain frequencies, and so that's why they're getting affected now because they're not clearing themselves after they're using their equipment, and it's causing havoc with their body now. It's affecting their frequency, and so it's causing sickness. But I'm going to tell you the other thing, though. This is the other thing that people don't understand. Your body, we talked about this, I believe in another episode. Your body is a battery. Go outside, and I know it's cold. I actually had a client yesterday. Go outside without shoes and go around. When you get back connected back into Earth, you're plugged in again, and your body literally heals itself. And I know it sounds funny, but no, you are part of your human meat suit needs that element. It's a connection to Earth and all the elements. You have to have the sun for your vitamin D. You have to have the earth, the air to breathe. You have to have the earth to connect into, to have your circuit plugged into so it can heal itself. People are cutting themselves off of human elements that are needed for the body to heal. And this is the biggest problem. People need to go outside without shoes on and connect to Earth. There's reason why we have tree huggers, because that is grounding. We need that. It's to heal the body. And this is also what they can do when you're out there and you're doing investigations. But then make sure you ground afterwards. Clear that stuff out. Get yourself back into tune, but plug in so you can clear out all that negative that's trying to throw off your frequencies of your body.
The smirk you see in my
Mm-hmm.
face in the light chuckle, it had nothing to do with what you were saying, but as soon as you started talking about ground, I immediately went to I don't need to do that. I just need to buy the grounding mat.
Okay, this is
I'm
another
being
thing.
sarcastic,
Mm-hmm.
Cena. I know you don't have a sense of humor, so I'm
Yes,
explaining it. I'm
yes,
just
yes.
being
Okay, I'm
sarcastic.
laughing. I'm laughing. No, that's not good. Get your body outside. This is another thing that they're trying to cut you off of outside. I've heard this is the fourth time I've heard this within the last 2 weeks about a grounding mat, and they're trying to cut you off from outside elements by buying a grounding mat. You need to be outside. Rather
Now
than like, go for it. Go to sleep on a grounding mat and plug yourself into the electricity that's in your wall. I mean, but you need to be outside. They're just trying to cut you off again. Oh, just buy this grounding mat. You don't have to go outside. Yes, you do. You need the sun for vitamin D. You need the air to breathe. You need to be connected into the earth. Be plugged in so your body can literally heal itself without shoes on.
I can't
Yeah,
go a day now
mm-hmm.
without scrolling through Facebook and not seeing an ad for a grounding mat
Mm-hmm.
now. So your fault on that one.
Thank you.
Because I didn't know that they existed until you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think I'm going to use that. I'm going to buy one and put it in the corner of the trailer.
Okay.
And anytime one of my investigators screws up, I'm going to be like, go stand on the grounding mat.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be like the punishment corner. It'll be the punishment mat.
They're going to laugh at you, but it
of
works
course.
for some people. But I'm going to say, okay, the reason it works because people believe it's going to work.
Mm-hmm, I
and
know.
it's been proven, but it's just people. Even it's so frustrating to me. I mean, the vets, the retirement homes, the assistant living, get them outside and get their feet on the ground without shoes. Leather soles, anything's not rubber, fine. Rubber is what cuts off so you can't have flow. That's the first thing the government introduced us to way back in, I believe it's the 40s, when we started having cartoons, a color cartoon. Literally, you'll see it. If you can go back on YouTube, it has it literally. It showed one of them where they started introducing shoes with rubber soles for running. Oh, it's more comfortable. People are like, oh, cool. Not realizing that the government literally just put something on their feet to cut their source off, to heal. And that's why they did that.
And now this is a conspiracy theory show.
No, this has been years ago. This is a cartoon. And everything I'm talking about is conspiracy. Yes.
So
but it's true. There is fact. Like I said, people do your research. I can tell you everything. Do your research.
No, absolutely. I'm 100% with you. Like I know this is completely goes against like my own self-interest here. But I know it's really easy to listen to like myself and Dave and Sena tell you everything, but you shouldn't. We're not trying to trick you or anything. We're doing the best that we can in order to get out the proper information.
Correct.
But do your own research, and
it's out there. It's out there. It's not just what I'm getting from source. Just like Dave said, as soon as you talked about the grounding mess, he kept seeing them. No, all the information is out there. You can even Google it. It shows up, and then you start seeing it. But I'm just going to tell you, a lot of the movies are telling you this. It's not just a movie. A lot of the movies, literally, Weird Al Yankovic actually has it on his videos. A lot of this stuff. No, not seriously.
I know. I love Weird Al.
They know what's going on. The movie producers know what's going on. They're trying to get it out there through their movies. The artists, the music artists, know about this, so they're trying to put that out there in their videos. It's all out there, people, and you don't have to do much research to find it. It's there. It's right in front of you.
So Taylor Swift is right, and true love does exist.
Get me started on that one.
Well, you brought it up, so it's your fault.
Yeah, I can't. That would she's too well liked, so I have to be careful on that one. Mhm. Not a fan. That's all I gotta say. Not a fan.
You think if we say something negative about Taylor Swift, like all the Swifties will just come against us?
No, I'm just careful. I pick and choose my battles.
I see. It's okay to not be a fan.
Oh, I'm definitely not a fan.
Okay, that's fine.
That's all I gotta say.
That's perfectly fine. I have a lot of very popular bands that I am not a fan of. It's
No,
all right
she's
to do
definitely
so.
showed her true colors if you know what to look for.
All right. Anyways, let's move on before we start Taylor Swift bashing.
I didn't. I just didn't bash her at all.
So I don't know if you'll know the answer to this. Maybe you will. I don't know. But what is the ultimate goal? And I think I've asked you this before.
Yes, you did.
And maybe I'm not accepting of your answer. Because son is it just because this is just an experiment.
Yes. The Earth is an experiment, which is a very minute compared to the 13,000 galaxies that are out there.
Right. No, I get that. So we're just an experiment, which means
no, we're not. The Earth is an experiment. The half human of us, yes, it's an experiment.
Right. So either way, experiments are not important. Like, what is? Let me start here. What is this experiment supposed to prove?
That the human part can evolve and work past the evil and everything that it has been introduced to, but get to where we work in and live together in harmony without ego, all the negative entity stuff, or the negative energy, the negative vibration, ego, envy, sadness, frustration, money, power.
Right.
That's all negative. So we have to move beyond that. Find out that this is not important.
Right. So why is coming to that conclusion or seeing that it is so important? I mean, we don't have a seat on the Galaxy Council.
No.
We don't exist anywhere else except for right here. Our presence in the universe is largely irrelevant to anything.
Correct. Yeah, because we're very isolated. The Earth is very isolated because of all the chaos that keeps going on here, and it keeps being repeated.
Right, I get that. I get that.
Button has been hit so many times.
Right, I understand all of that. Let me get to my question.
Okay.
Why is it so important then that we succeed to the point where there is some negative force trying to make it so that this experiment fails, and that the good side is like, no, we want this to succeed, it's just not. So I mean,
because a higher source believes in the humans that they can evolve. It's someone's belief, and they're trying to show that it's a more of a proof. Like, no, watch this. They can get past this, and they believe in us, and that's why the light workers, us different highly spiritual beings come here. We're entities that have come here to help that and show them, yes, they can move beyond that, and they can evolve, and we're going to help show this because we believe in them. We don't want them to be literally non-existent. They literally are going to clear them out. This is the last time.
Right.
So we're here to prove it's like, yes, we want them to live. We want them to exist. And so we're here to help. And so that's the main thing, that the main goal is trying to prove that the humans can exist at a higher vibration.
Right. Otherwise, we're just going to get wiped out.
Correct.
Okay. So if we exist in such an irrelevant fashion where they can just wipe us out and then go on with life, or their lives anyway, again, like you're telling me, you're giving me like their motivation without giving me the why. Like, why is it so important that we evolve, that we exist in the grand scheme of things? I know why I want us to exist because I'm part of us, but we don't matter.
We matter to somebody. That's what you don't get.
We matter. We
The
matter to
earthlings
one
do
entity that,
matter to somebody. That's a higher source.
right. So we matter to one, for all intents and purposes, God,
A
that
creator, yes.
our creator, our
Mhm.
source,
Mhm.
whatever you want to, God, source, creator,
Mhm.
universe, whatever you want to call it, same thing.
Mhm.
We matter to this one entity, and he's, for whatever reason, not powerful enough, not willing to, not whatever, to stop whatever war is going on. Like, if the experiment, because typically scientists,
Mhm.
and as our scientists, maybe science is different in other parts of the universe,
Yes,
but
it is.
typically if somebody does an experiment, they're like, it's closed off. It's like, let's see if they can evolve on their own.
No, because this was a creation. So this is something that exists, and okay, how I can explain how they're telling me to explain this. We're somebody's baby. We're somebody's baby, and they
Right.
want to prove that their baby can evolve into something beautiful.
Right. Okay. I get that. Oops, sorry, hit my microphone.
So that's why it's so important. You don't see the big. I mean, we are all one. We are one, literally one soul living out all these experiences. I am you, you are me, and it's that one soul proving that it can coexist and have raised to a higher vibration and live in harmony.
Right. No, I get
But
all
it's
that.
important to this the one, the maker, the
Right.
creator of
Now
that
I get,
one human soul of all these lives we're living. It's very important to them.
right. I get that. I just said that. So if they want to see if we can evolve on our own, if we can, get rid of all the kind of negative connotations and be a harmonizing people.
Hmm.
But sticking with your parenting metaphor,
Hmm.
like, or if you wanted to do, because we've talked about this before, it was on Constantine. God is a kid with an ant farm.
Hmm.
You know, but instead of like letting us just do it on our own, it's like the neighbor guy from across the way uh, wants to come in and shine a flashlight in your eyes for like 7 hours a day. It's like they're this evil part, or whatever, this force that wants us to fail is being let in to do this.
Hmm.
And that seems to be completely anti-experimental.
No,
Unless,
you have to be introduced to negative and positive to see if it can withstand it and move beyond.
right, I get the fact that negative shit is going to happen,
But
but
that's
it's going to
how.
happen. But it's going to happen naturally. Like this seems to be very, very intentional.
Oh yeah, but it's they're going to get negative influences from other species, from other dimensions, other galaxies to try to. I mean, the resources on Earth are needed on other planets from other species, so they're trying to extinct the humans so they can take over the Earth. So there's other things going on as well as this experiment. But it's also we're getting. I mean, the human themselves are so vulnerable because they're just this weak species, and so they can get mind controlled. And this is all an illusion. This is everything that we live right now is an illusion. It's created from energy and what we believe. It's the matrix, but it can be so easily manipulated on the human level. And so because the species, that the negative ones have found that out, they'll come in here and the government will continue to sit there and try to clear out all the humans so they can have these resources and prove this experiment, can't, it's not going to work. See, keep showing it, and they keep interfering to prove that it's not going to work. And then they want this, that this earth that's been created, they'll take it over. Now what's going on as well is because we've got the new earth and the old earth splitting, because the earth is like, done, I'm done. And then you've got the highly, the ones that have been evolving continually and letting go of all that negative, they're going on the new earth. And then the old earth, you've seen movies on this. It's not just movies. They're trying to show you what's actually happening. In science fiction movies, they show you an old earth, and there's pieces of it hanging there. It's only part of an earth, because that's what's happening. They're blowing up the earth, this living earth, and they're blowing it up. And she's done. She's like, I am done. So she's splitting from the old into the new. And when this finally completely happens, because all the people that are vibrating at a lower frequency will not move on. They're zombies, but also in this negative, power hungry, or lower vibration, we're going to end up on the old earth. And people ask me, well, can the new ones, the people in the new earth see that? And it's almost like they're creating the Athens all over again, the love and the light. And this is what, they know that they can create by just manifesting, focusing on positive things, and everything happens. It's positive. It's a higher vibration, love and light, happiness. And all this lower vibration is going to go, they're all splitting to the old earth. And the new earth, are they going to see the old earth disappear? No. We're not going to see that all of a sudden split and there's two earths. No, you're not going to see it. It's just going to happen. And then the old earth will eventually literally like non-exist.
Right. So like 4 billion people just suddenly disappear.
Part of them. I mean, like I said, it's just, this is the higher vibrations will go on one, and the lower vibrations that will not choose, they just choose to stay in that eagle and that power, is going to go on to the other one. So it's not like it's all of them. No, it's part and part.
Right.
That's why it's the Great Awakening. It's like, wake up and see what's really going on, people, and quit being manipulated. You're humans taking over. You are highly spiritual beings. So focus on what needs to, let go of all this. You're getting distracted. The government's constantly distracting you and putting minions in your way. That's the negative entities. That's the devil is trying to keep you off of your path. You don't realize what you are. Once you realize what you are, all of a sudden you'll see what's really going on and what's being affected. You're being fed sugar. This is, marshmallows. It's sugar. That is toxic to the human system. That literally gets in your bones and makes them very frail. GMO. What they put in the crops that literally is very toxic to the system. That's why they say anything natural, you eat natural things that come from the earth that are natural. That is what your body needs. Literally, but they keep introducing this easy preservative food, because people are on the go, and then they have the stress. They keep introducing to people more and more that keep breaking down the system.
See, you're not even in the same state as when we started this conversation.
I'm going to be going off in different directions on this.
I know, and if you breathed more, I might have been able to stop you earlier.
All right, breathe.
It's all right.
And that's the other thing too. People don't breathe. They hold their breath a lot. That's why they get headaches.
I'm not even. Nope. It's not even going to touch that statement at all.
No, people slow down. Active. You need to be active. Get outside. Connect to the earth. Breathe in the elements. Breathe in the sun. Become one with the sun. Become one with the elements, and plug in. Don't get so distracted. Don't get it stuck in your head. That's all human.
Right. So I'm trying to get out of my head here, but you're not making it easy.
Trying one of the deadliest words.
Say what? Oh, yeah. Well, it's not, but
it's an action word. When we try things, it's just like we half-ass do things.
Yeah, I don't half-ass anything, but that's okay. Except maybe the beginning episodes of the show. But so I'm gonna go back like. That's amazing. I'm sorry. That was. And I don't know if anybody could hear what she just said, but I didn't even say her name, so there's no reason for her to come on. But all of a sudden, she's like, "I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you with that."
Oh, boy, the timing's wonderful.
I agree. So
See, she can't even comment on that.
nobody can help us. So I'm going to go back like 10 minutes.
Okay.
From the start of when you started talking.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my issue, and I have a lot of them because none of this shit makes sense at all. It's so ass backwards. It is missing any sort of logic or intelligence to it whatsoever. So, which is why I can't, like Dave and the whole past, present, and future thing. I can't wrap my head around it. So I want to go back to the parent metaphor again.
Okay.
Because even if they wanted something intentionally bad to happen and they let something in, they let somebody in from another dimension, they didn't do anything about it, something bad happened, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking like bad things, not so much like I got a speeding ticket or I drank too much. Not that. That's not what I'm talking about. Because we're going to do that till the end of time, or until we're, blown up.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to me in a grand scale of things, we have this parent who has his baby. And if you want to use the parent metaphor, a good parent takes care of their child and protects their child. We're not being protected. We're being thrown into the fire to see how we react. It's like, I'm going to go back to the neighbor thing. It's like a parent inviting the neighbor over to kick the kid down the stairs. And then when the kid reacts negatively, the kid is the one at fault because you didn't react like you should. He shouldn't have been positive about it.
Okay,
and
so but you're saying
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet, Sena.
Oh, you mad? Ooh. Okay.
No, I just don't want to be interrupted. I'm trying, especially since I know it. Especially since I know once you start talking,
you to be quiet. But go ahead.
You're not going to start. You're not going to stop for like 15 minutes. So I want to finish. But anyway, so we're being we're failing this experiment because the different stuff that you guys are throwing in at us, both good and bad, are now being used to be against us instead of just letting us be. We can do shit on our own. We don't need outside influences for us to do stupid shit. We don't need really positive influences to know what kindness is or to be generous. We can do that on our own. That is the whole point of evolution, is to do it on our own. And yet, for some reason, this all-seeing God or whatever is just being like, okay, well, you can come in from another dimension. I'm not going to do anything about it. Let's see what you do. And then, they start poking at us and we react negatively. And then something good comes in and they're like, okay, you can come in and you can throw out some peace and love and harmony and light workers and blah, blah, blah. And we'll see how they react to that. That's all external stimuli instead of just leaving us alone to do our shit by ourselves.
Because it can't evolve without interferences.
That is the dumbest thing you have ever said.
No, if you leave something alone, it can't evolve. There has to be outside influences.
That is completely.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the metaphor. A child. You have to have a mom and dad in order to help it grow, correct?
You don't need a mom and dad, but.
Well, you need outside influences to help it grow, correct?
But we can influence each other. We don't need. Well, this is what I'm not talking about. We can't. I'm talking about we can't. We can because we have each other. Like you said, we are the entity. We are all one. We can do it on our own. I don't. It's not some evil, force or whatever that cuts me off and ruins my day in the middle of, on my way to work. It's another human or another highly spiritual being, whatever you want to call it. We can have both positive and negative influences on ourselves.
Right, but we can't evolve with just the human part. We have to have outside influences to show us what we really are and to evolve.
Yeah, I don't agree with that whatsoever. But
And that's why
'Cause
there's good and bad coming in, because we have good and bad influences, but we have choice to figure out what's good and what's bad. And this is also part of the experiment. We have to know that there is free will and choice, and that we'll make the right choice. This is part of it.
so
But you also we're evolving by the influences that we're getting from higher sources.
okay, let's say for the sake of argument, that's correct. So, because this just came into my head, which is why I'm going to move on to this, which is still the same topic, but you always talk about, and I know I do too, because I'm a big fan of symmetry,
Mm-hmm.
balance. So, do we have that for every negative influence that comes in? Do we then get a positive one? Or is it negative, 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 and then once it gets too much, then something positive comes in? Is it balanced?
It's not balanced
Okay, so why not? And how are
because of
if
how we
we
created.
if we have 75 negative and 25% positive, how is it not a guaranteed outcome that we are going to at some point in time go down the negative path? Because that's almost all that we are exposed to.
If you are exposed to a balance of things, negative and positive, then, but we don't we get, depending on, there are lessons that we sign up for. Some people come in with, I mean, horrific lessons, and they've got a terrible childhood, and that's where you get the abuse. So no, it's not going to be a balance. But you also can come out of that going, no, that's not, I didn't deserve that. But you don't have to become that either. And that's choice. You find out, it's like, you're learning, going, okay, and again, that's also karma working itself out from past lives. But, and lessons you sign up for, because when we're here so many times, then we create karma. But it's
Well,
also lessons that we sign up for. Go ahead.
I was say this honestly seems to be the generalized conversation that's been going on for decades of nature versus nurture. I mean, if I've had a horrible childhood,
Mm-hmm.
regardless, I don't even care what the reason for it is, signing up for the Akasha, whatever. I had a shitty childhood. I'm probably going to be a shitty person
No,
because that,
nope.
honestly, yeah.
No,
Because I have dealt with a lot of people who have had shitty childhoods, and
yeah,
they are typically shitty people.
because they choose to be.
It's
No, it's
unbelievable.
choice. It's
It's
free will and choice. You
it's
can,
unbelievably hard.
it is, but
To,
it's hard. But there's a lot of very abused individuals that come out of it going, oh, hell no, I'm not going to be like that. I've grown up like that, and I don't believe that's not what I am. I had to go through that because that's what I signed up for, but I will not become. I am one of them. That's how I know.
yeah, I am too. But we're
But that doesn't
very,
mean you become that because you grew up with it. And that's what you're saying.
I'm saying in a general, and again, this is the whole nature versus nurture thing. And I don't think we're going to solve that today. Out
Mm-hmm.
of all the things that we've destroyed, I don't think that's going to be one.
Right. It just, but it don't let the human get in the way. Some people say that they're so toxic that they're an evil being because they've allowed that in. An evil being has corrupted them, and they have allowed it and became it.
Maybe that's all they know.
No, because okay. So exorcists, you get um, literally taken over by a negative being.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's how a lot of that happens. But we have also, in some time in life, have been introduced to love and good. And then you choose to take that, like, no, I like that feeling. I want to stay there.
See, that was going to be my next point. See, I get it. If you live for a lot of years in a really negative environment and you start going down that path, and then you meet somebody who is the exact opposite, somebody who's caring, somebody who's generous, somebody who's kind, and they help you or whatever. I get that, and I know that that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But if that person does not come into their lives and it's just negative after negative after negative, hurt after hurt after hurt, they're not even going to know how to be a better person because they have nothing to emulate. They have nothing to inspire them. Nothing.
That's never going to happen because you'll ask you will ask for that. You create whatever in your life, and if you're asking for something better to happen, it's going to happen. And so something people cross your path all the time, whether it's a negative or positive. You are interacting with people all the time, whether you're isolated or not. You're going to have the one thing that's still going to have a light to it that's going to show you that there is a difference and there is something good out there.
Yeah. I mean,
that's all it's going to take. For some people, that's all it takes, that there's that glimmer of hope, and that's all it takes.
For some people, not all, some.
It's if they allow it in, whatever. Again, it's what you believe. You're creating your own life. So if you're going to continue thinking that you're going to be always in a negative environment and be around negative people and have this horrific, terrible life, then of course that's what you're going to have because you are creating that. This is all part of the experiment, is how we can create out of good and we can create out of bad. We create our own lives by what we believe.
And what happens when somebody with more juice than you wants to create a life that overrides yours?
It only can happen if you allow it. You have to believe what you are. People, that's why it's the Great Awakening. We come in here and we awaken people to help them understand what they really are. Because you're going to have those people that are controlling, and that's what you're probably talking about, this controlling force and trying to take over this person. And then you're like, then you feel dominated and you can't do anything. You feel very belittled, and then go down to very little self-conscious, self-confidence, and just like I have to do whatever this person says, and those are the abusers. But then where there's people like us, like, oh no, you do not have to put up with that. And we show them what they need to do and believe in themselves to start empowering themselves. You're talking about a power and their abilities, and they have to show them how to empower themselves to overcome that.
So I have met many people in my lifetime where they have been, I don't want to say negative, like they're good people, but they do a lot of negative stuff. They have a negative mentality. They have a negative view of like everything. And I have tried, and other people have tried that I have seen, to show them a positive way, a positive thing, and support and kindness and love and generosity. And a lot of these people just spit it back in your face because they don't believe that's real. Like that's not the way life is.
Again, because that's what they believe. Remember, that's what I just said. They believe that that's how life should be.
Right. No,
I feel that they don't deserve. This is part of it where you're seeing a front. These people are angry because they've been dealt a life, and they feel they've been dealt the shorthand of things, and so they're very angry. And so this is why when we read people, we see what we're up against. But then you find out what's really going on with them as well. When you start reading them, it's like, where did this come from? It's like, why are they angry? And then you find out where it stemmed from, and then you work with them.
Right. But if somebody has serious trust issues, abandonment issues, whatever, they're not going to share that with you because they're going to not trust you enough to do it. And they're going to think that if they tell you the truth or they tell you this stuff, you're going to leave.
Some of them some of them want to finally believe in somebody, and you show them that they can.
Right. And I 100% agree with you on that
Okay,
one.
but
Absolutely.
this is stuff that people, again, what they believe in, what they are going to allow them. They've been beaten down so bad that they don't feel like they don't deserve. They're not enough, and so that's what they're going to believe then. But you have to go, and then when they cross even paths with light workers, we're put in here for a reason. They're going to cross path with light workers. They're going to tell them, no, you are a very powerful being, and you have no idea, and this is what's going on with you. And they're like, all of a sudden stuff starts clicking because now they're like, I'm done. People get to a point where they've had enough, and they want to fight back, and they're like, no. Why did I get dealt with this? And it can be anger, but it's finally they're pulling themselves out of it, and they want help, or how do I get past this, or how did this happen? So then we come into their lives, and we help them through this if they allow us, and we get to the stem, the root of things, and we work through it, and then we explain things. You've had a rough life. Well, this is all the karma that's been created because of all the past life that you've had here and what you've created. So you're working through it this lifetime. And this is how you work through that. We help them understand things. When people understand what they're going through, it becomes a whole different world for them, because they have to, as their human has to understand things. So you're helping them understand why they're going through things. And then it starts making sense to them. And so when you start making sense, they're going, wow, this all really does make sense now. Sorry, I got a cat here.
I was going to say, I'm going to make 2 points. One, Sena is now a pet to a cat.
Yeah, sorry.
As you can hear. And two, I came into this conversation, or this show or whatever, with this topic, thinking that it was, for all intents and purposes, like angels versus demons, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's this war that's going on behind the scenes. And now I'm starting to believe that the war has nothing to do with angels and demons. It seems to be this war is a war with ourselves.
That's what they want you in your head. What happens is because people allow their thinking to control them. That's the human.
Well, that is typically what controls us.
Yeah, but that's where we allow. When we hear these voices in our head, that our thinking controls us instead of us controlling our thinking. That's why it's important to still the mind. That's why you're going to keep hearing about meditate. Because when you meditate, you still the mind, and your mind doesn't control you anymore. You control your mind. You're going to constantly, every time when you come up to something and you're working on yourself, but all of a sudden then you get your voices in your head and saying, why do you think you deserve that? Why do you think you're good enough? That's your mind controlling you. You stop that. Say, no, I do deserve this. That's when you are controlling your mind, and it stops it. That's the human. Don't let the human affect you. You find out what you really are, and you push back. And then you keep working on yourself. But what people have gone through a lot of times in their life, I mean, there's lessons they've signed up for, but they have to understand that they're lessons. You've had a horrific childhood, but what did you learn from that? To stop going outside of yourself for love and love yourself. It all comes from love, loving yourself. This is all everything actually comes from it. We have to love ourselves and each other. You have to love that. So again, we're going to come back to it's one soul. Love that soul, because that's you you're living out a different experience. Love that soul. Yeah, they might have, been very, very mean to you. Forgive them and move on. It's learning to love yourself no matter what situation, and forgive, but focus on how you want it to be. And don't believe that you can't have that. You are creating everything.
I'm actually gonna find like a really nice font and print this out and hang it in the trailer, because I honestly believe it. And yes, I did steal it from Glee, for those of you who watch that show and will be like, that's from Glee. But there's a phrase in it that hits me hard all the time, every time. Love it. And I love it to death, but it hits me hard. And it's the phrase, see the world not as it is, but as it should be.
Correct.
goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I guess the question is, how do you do that?
Focus on what you want, not what you don't want.
Oh,
Create,
I
create
always
what
focus
you
on what I want, Sena.
want with the emotion behind it. Again, you have to be in the right frame of mind. Still your mind. Focus on what you, still your mind. Go back to a happy time. You need to be in a higher vibration, which is love, happiness. So when you still your mind, then I want you to go back into a really happy time. If you've had children, the first time you've held that your child for the first time, um, getting the keys to your first vehicle, moving out of the house for the first time. Um, it's you're going on vacation, something that you wanted to do and you did. It's a very high, higher vibrating vibration. That's what you want to start in, and then focus on what you want. Staying in that, staying in believing that that's the kind of life that you're supposed to have. You're supposed to be in a higher vibration, love, happiness, and that is it. And create from there, and then know that that's the kind of life that you're supposed to have, and let it come in. A lot of people will sabotage it because of how they were brought up. They're not enough. They don't deserve. They're not worthy. Yes, you are. Let it come in. You've already created it if you thought it. It's already out there and you've already created it. It's allowing you need to get up to that vibration level so it can come in. It's already been created if you thought about it and asked for it. It's sitting out there. You just need to align with it to have it come in.
So everything that you just said, perfectly reasonable. Love every second of it. But as I'm sure you're aware, very, very much easier to say than to do.
Correct.
And so without just repeating this is what you need to do, or like in such a broad sense,
Mm-hmm.
if you are a person who wants all the habit, the things that they deserve it, everything that you had just said,
Mm-hmm.
but they're surrounded by sadness, defeat, uh, people who want to tear you down because that's where they are, the whole misery loves company
Mm-hmm.
type thing. How do you rise above it?
For
And
one, get yourself out of that situation if you can, but have your, purge. Go
that's
ahead.
the key right there, right there. I
Mm-hmm.
want the emphasis on if you can.
If you can.
What if you can't?
Okay, but so you're creating by what you think is supposed to happen. So everything that's happened already, like being in that negative environment at work, around people, your friends, you've created that. For one, you purge your friends, get new friends. You control that. You can get out of that. But at work, it's you keep thinking that that's the kind of environment you're supposed to be in. So you've created that. So then you go back and going, okay, this is what I keep, because you keep thinking like in the past. So so this is like it's like watering a plant. Whatever you focus your energy on, you're going to keep creating. So you keep looking in the past saying, well, this is how it is always when I get to work. But you keep creating that, recreating everything every time you come into work. It's like, oh, that's how it's going to be because that's your belief. You keep believing that's how it's going to be. So it keeps creating that over and over again because that's your belief. And you can, because you are the creator of your world. You've got the paintbrush, you've got the pencil, and you are keep thinking like, well, this is how my life's got to be. So I'm going to keep creating that. Stop thinking that if you don't want that to happen. Focus on how you want it to be. So what do you love or like about these people? There's at least one thing. And how do you want, your work environment to be? There's certain coworkers. Oh, they're really irritating. Well, that's, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, we only have like 4 minutes, but I'm just saying it's a mirroring sometimes about the lesson. You're working with your dad. That's a lesson you're supposed to, learn from your dad. But that's why your boss seems like your dad. It's the exact same thing. You got lessons to learn. But then focus like, no, this is my life. And this is how I want it to be. I like this about that person. So only focus on that about them. Only focus on the positives in people. And that's the only thing that shows up. But also focus on how you want your environment. Don't recreate what you don't want. And that's what we have a habit of doing. It's habits. We have to break our habits. Focus on only what you want, and that is it. It's retraining your brain. Again, it's controlling your brain instead of your brain controlling you. How do you want it? Still your brain, still your mind, so you have control of it. And then focus on what you want. And that is it. But only focus on the things that you like about people or like about your work. That is it. When you start focusing on only positives, that's all you're creating in your life. And that is it. So how do you want things to be? And let go of all the negatives. You don't put any energy on in the negatives, because you're watering like a plant and you're recreating it then. It can only exist if you give it to energy. If you don't give it any energy, it cannot exist. So don't focus on it. Don't even give it any thought. Only start writing things that, people at work, writing down beside every one of their names, only the things that you like or love about those people. And your job, what's the only things that you love or like about your job? And then focus, literally keep your focus on that only. Tape it up on your monitor at work, or tape it at work, or anything that keeps you in that frame of mind, and only the focusing on the positives. That is it.
And let me just say that if while you're doing this, if you want to double its intensity, you should buy a grounding mat.
No, actually, I'm going to tell you something about frequencies, though. Start listening to music at work of certain frequencies. That's going to help you. There's certain frequencies that help you with harmony, like 432. Listen to music that has that frequency. Your background music, just listen to that. It'll help you actually mellow out at work too, because you're so there's so many different negative things that happen at work that it'll help you stay in the positive vibrations, but also help you heal the things from the past.
I've gotten away from it over the last year or two, but I know I never even heard of this before Lauren came onto the team, but she probably still does listens to what was called lo-fi.
Okay.
Lo-fi music. That what it was? Said it helped her concentrate, and honestly, I started listening to it too, and it's not bad. It's soothing. Is that what it? Maybe it's not lo-fi. Yeah, lo-fi hip hop radio. It's pretty much just like music and stuff. And I don't know if that actually has a frequent. It does have a frequency. I just don't know what it is. But there's always that. If you want to go on YouTube and look up lo-fi music, lo-fi beats, or whatever, if you're trying to do it. But yeah, 432, the natural and harmonic frequency of the universe. We have 528, which is DNA repair. There's nothing wrong with my DNA. Transformation to miracles, but 639, 741, 932, 963. That's your crown chakra. I mean, there are.
These frequencies too. As you're shooting them off, what they mean. There's Nicholas Tesla has this in his book about frequencies. Michael Terrell is one of the biggest ones that I use. Is whole tones, and that it's the adult whole tones. It's not the animals. He's got the animals, but you can go on his site. It's whole tones. It's WHOLE tones, all one word. And that's where these frequencies that Michael's talking about is you come up, they'll show up, and it shows what affects what in those frequencies. He's got a video, but the book, they have the book out, and I would suggest getting, you can order those, and it helps your work environment, even at home, play them.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I want people to know where they can get those, because you're just coming out with those frequencies, and they're like, okay, how do I get these frequencies, and how do you know? So I'm here to answer people's questions.
Now it was like when. Never mind. I won't even say it. So, if you would like to agree or probably disagree with anything Sena had said today, or if you just have more questions, maybe you want to set up a reading, where can people find you, Sena?
On my website, insightfulsoul.com, or they can send me an email, readings, plural, by Sena.com. No, Gmail. So it's readings, gmail.com. Yeah.
Readings by Sena gmail.com.
Correct.
So all hate mail should go to that address.
Get on. I've been doing this for plus 25 years, people. So this is not, I'm not a newbie to this.
If you would like to send the show a message, maybe you have a paranormal story or question that you would like either Dave and I or Sena or I to answer for you, you can go on to odysseyfilesradio.com and send it that way. And again, look out for the new the Odyssey Network. You should be able to search it on all of your podcasting platforms. Like I said, I'm going to be doing that to be doing that all day today and probably a little bit throughout the week, depending on how tired I am from work. But yeah, so we should be the Odyssey Network should be up and about here shortly. But still, odysseyfilesradio.com is always going to be the website you can go to find all of it. So, all right. Well, thank you, Sena, again for filling in.
Thank you, Michael, for allowing me to come on again.
We shall see if you are here next week.
Okay.
It depends on, obviously, how Dave is doing. And
I send healing and prayers to him because that's, it's not but something we all want to go through, but are human. We have to let go of that. So.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, we'll see you back here next week. Till then, stay healthy, stay safe. We want to see you back here. Everyone, have a great rest of your week.